Let's do another Valentine's look. Now this one is called Berries and Bubbly. So I already went in with all of my primers. You guys already know what I'm going in with, but this is a little bit of a closer look. So now it's time to do an eye look. So we're going to take this more pinky shade and aim in between of a dense and fluffy brush because I really want the pigment to stand out. And I'm just going to go ahead and start stamping it mostly towards the bottom of the lash line. And then because it is fluffy, I'm going to use the fluffy side and then just start going in circular motion, starting to bring that up just right in here into the socket. Now going in with a very fluffy brush, I'm going to take the very light pink cream shade and I'm just going to go just right underneath that brow bone so we can bring that diffusion, and just going in with circular motions all around. Now let's take this more dusty rose shade, and I'm actually going to take this on a more denser brush because I really want that pigment to just stick towards the outer edge of the eye. And I'm just going to start by stamping it on and kind of holding my brush towards more of the top so we can really get that most pigment, and then going more towards the bottom and really with light circular motions start building that dimension towards the outer eye. Now with the same brush but on the clean side, I'm going to really focus this just right on the top edge of this one, and I'm going to focus this on this darker shade, really packing it evenly on the brush. And same thing, really just stamping that dark shade there, and we're gonna keep our hand right at the top and just like kind of just like move it from side to side to start blending it. And once you feel like you actually have a nice blend, we're gonna go in with circular motions and just start blending it into that previous shade. So now it's time to add a little bit of shimmer, so I'm going to go in with my flat brush and just go in the center shade and really just packing it on and just patting it all over the lid. Now I do want to add a little bit more of a shimmer, so I'm going to go on the clean side of my flat brush, really packing it into the brush, and I'm actually going to focus this kind of just right in the center. Specifically for my eye shape, I like adding a little touch of highlight, so when my eyes are open and I'm looking at someone, you see like a nice little sparkle that aligns to the pupil of my eye. Okay, so now we're done with the eye look, so it's time to go in with some brown liquid liner. Now this is a little bit more of a warmer look, so I love matching it with a brown. So now let's go in with a little bit of a peach color corrector. We're going to correct the under eye. So now it's also going with a little bit of green to cover up that redness that I have in between my nose and my mouth. So now let's go ahead and start doing our base. I'm going to go in with a little bit of BB cream. Now it's time to go in with concealer, but we're also going to take this a little bit closer so we can clean up the eye look. So while we're letting that concealer set, we're going to start fluffing up the brows with a little bit of brow soap. Now let's go ahead and start blending out that concealer while also cleaning up that eye look. Now it's time to go in and apply a little bit of our bronzer. I've been really loving this one from Morphe. I feel like I've been using it in basically every single look. It just goes with everything. Okay, so now for my blush, I'm gonna go in with more of a berry tone, and I'm gonna keep this in a little bit more of the center. Now this is definitely really pigmented, so you don't need a ton of this one. Now because this eye look goes up, I'm actually going to take this a little bit higher, so I'm going to start my blush towards the end and work my way up here so it can match the level of the eye. Now let's go ahead and start setting the face, really focusing on the under eye first because that's where I crease the most. Now just going in with a loose powder just in the center of my face to bring a little bit more brightness. Now let's go in with a little bit of contour. I really want to bring up some depth into the nose and the eye because I feel like my nose tends to get lost when it comes to like these a little bit more bolder looks. So now let's start doing our brows. So I'm gonna take a little bit of pomade and just start filling in and carving a shape for my brows. Now let's go in with a powder bronzer, and I'm just going to apply this more towards the outer portions of my face, as well as taking a little bit on the forehead. Now let's finish up our blush combo. So I'm going to go in with a berry blush, and I'm going to focus this just right at the end, basically where we placed our liquid one, and I'm going to bring it up. Now going in with the clean side of my brush, I'm going to go in with a blending shade, which is more of this baby pink, and I'm just going to diffuse this all around, making sure I got rid of this awkward spacing that's right here. Now let's add a little bit of glow. So I'm going to go in with my highlighter, and I'm going to start with the nose. I want to lightly kind of just tap this on, and then just a little bit around the center points of my face over here. Now let's go and fill in the brows with some brow powder and just filling in any areas that I missed with the brow pomade. So now let's finish up the eye look. We're going to go in with our gel liner just right on top where we put our liquid liner. So let's start doing our lip combo. So I'm actually going to go in with a stain from Ulta Beauty Collection, and I'm just going to apply this all around the lips. So now let's go ahead and curl the lashes and apply some mascara. Now let's go and finish up the lip combo. So I'm going to go in with a lip liner from About Face. Finally going in with a NYX Butter Gloss just right on top of it. Now let's set the face. And this is the final look. Now you guys already know a look will never be complete unless you have your outfit, accessories, and your hair done. So I will be right back. And this is the final look with everything put together. So I think this look is so cute. I think it's definitely one of my favorite out of all of my Valentine's looks so far. So if you guys are also going to recreate this look, totally let me know. But with that, this is it for today's Valentine's look called Berries and Bubbly. Bye!